from his studios in New York, it's time for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Here's your host, Dan Tortora.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. And of course, you can watch and listen as you are right now on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/livenowdt, and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, all inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. And I'm very happy here to be with 2022 incoming commit to Syracuse wide receiver Donovan Brown. Donovan Brown joining us from Montgomery Village, Maryland for the first time ever on Wake Up Call. So let's bring him in. Donovan, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're doing well, man. And kind of first off, for you, when did football start? When do you remember picking up your first football and really falling in love with it?
So, I used to play a game, some people call it throwback tackle or dog tackle. I used to play that with all my friends, and I was pretty fast, so, all my friends, they were like, you should play football, but one moment that really made me, actually pick up a football is my friend Paul. His dad, because I used to play t-ball when I was younger, and his dad realized that I was fast, and he was a coach, and he was like, I think you should play football, and I tried it out, and I loved the sport, and I was about 7 or 6.
So going back there, 6, 7 years old when you first started to get into the game of football, how did it evolve for you? Did it evolve quickly? Did you kind of like it a little bit and then start to get into it more as you got older? Did you always have love for it from when you were 6 or 7? How did the game evolve for you?
So, I used to watch my dad, watch the Washington football team, where they were the Redskins back then, I used to see him watch it, and I used to be like, football looks fun. So when I started playing it, I didn't know as many rules, but I wanted to learn the game as much as possible. So, I used to try to do what I seen on TV, and as fun as it looked, it was hard, starting, because I didn't really know much. And growing up, I didn't really know how to tackle. I didn't know how to catch as much. I just knew I had speed, so give me the ball and I'll run, But once I hit about 11, 10, I felt like I was getting the hang of the game, and I was starting to love hitting. I was starting to love catching the ball. I was getting so much better. And, I just have family to back me up and support me on it, and friends. And I just felt like I loved the sport after that.
Speaking here with Donovan Brown, 2022 incoming wide receiver committed to Syracuse. Donovan, you got to go and have a visit at Syracuse. Bring me into the visit, because I know you got to put on the entire uniform, got to put the helmet on, take some pictures. What was the experience like being at Syracuse?
That might have been one of the best things I ever did in my life. So, I never actually been on a good visit. I never been to any type of visit. That was my first one. So I'm walking around the school, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can see myself in this school before I even see the school around and do all this other stuff. I'm just like, this school is somewhere I can see myself. So as I'm talking to the coaches and talking to my mom, I'm just like, I can see me walking through these halls, putting on a jersey every day, going to the game field, cooking, scoring touchdowns. We even went to the game field, and I had to run down the field a little bit. I'm like, I can just see myself running a post route, catching this ball, running in the end zone, just doing what I do. And everything about the school just made me feel like I was supposed to be there.
And like you said, going on that visit might have been one of the best things you've ever done in your life. And you could just, when you say you could just feel it, you could just feel yourself on the field running a route. You could feel yourself walking through and just being a part of, how how could you feel that, like, what happened? What is it about Syracuse that just made you feel that way? Because you can walk on any campus and not feel that way. So why do you think it felt like that?
So as I'm talking to Coach Samuel, we had a connection already. Like, that was, our first time actually, like, meeting up in person. We had that connection already. It's just like he was ready to work and get me better, and I was ready to learn and get better. Because I know wide receivers are not born, they're made. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt like he knew what he was talking about, and there's many coaches that just talk, but he knows exactly what he's talking about. He knows the game like the back of his hand. And as like I'm looking at the school and listening to him, it just felt like that was the place to be.
And you brought up Tyrone Samuel. He was hired by Syracuse back on January 22nd. What is it about him? Like you said, you have that relationship, you have that connection. What do you like about Tyrone Samuel? Because the fans at Syracuse, they're going to get to know him this season. What can you tell me about why you feel like he's going to be a good teacher for you?
One, he's a great man. He's a great coach. His personality, that's just like top charts right there, And I just feel like when we were in the room together and we were like looking at plays and all this other stuff, it's like I can like imagine it already. Like I know if I mess up, he's gonna get on my ass and get me better. I know if I do something good, he's gonna, even though it's good, he's gonna tell me I could have did better or correct it. And you always need that in your life because not everybody is perfect. You know what I'm saying? So he's just that guy you want to be around 24/7.
And Tyrone Samuel, the new wide receivers coach for Syracuse, looking back at his tenure, 1998 to 2000, he was at Nebraska Omaha as a grad assistant, then 2001 to 2002 at Arizona as a grad assistant, 2003 to 2005, Nebraska Omaha defensive backs from 2003 to 4, outside linebackers at special teams in 2005. In 2006, he was at Southeast Missouri State as the wide receivers coach, 2007 back in Nebraska Omaha for offensive coordinator, running backs coach, 2008-9 North Dakota State wide receivers coach, 2010 Central Michigan wide receivers, 2011 to 2019 his longest stint, Michigan State wide receivers from 2011 to 18, and defensive backs in 2019. And then in 2020, the UNLV passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach. When I read all of that off to you, he's obviously been around the block. He's been to different places, spent a lot of time at Michigan State. What does his tenure mean to you? What does his resume mean to you?
All that means to me is that he knows what he's talking about and he knows what he's doing. There's no reason for me to just sit here and sugarcoat anything. That is the man of his word. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's taught people, he's got them better. And they were a good school, They were a good school. There's nothing wrong with that school. And now he's here to get me better and my teammates better. So, hey, I'm ready.
And you said something that I thought was really, really interesting and very cool. Is you said wide receivers are not born, they're made. Why do you believe that? Bring me into that a little bit deeper. Wide receivers are not born, they're made.
So, as a receiver myself, not everybody can you're not born being able to catch the ball. You're not born being able to drop your hips and be quick and elusive. You have to physically be taught, you have to physically learn, and you have to physically be there as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, every day, there's people that saying when you work out, you get 1% better. As a receiver, you do drills every single day to get better. Because it's just like how Kobe, he said he used to do all the fundamentals. For a receiver, you do all the fundamentals of catching the ball, you're never going to drop it. If I practice doing a fade route, I'm going to get better on that fade route. If I practice doing the post, I'm get better at the post. If I get on the jam, it's doing the same thing, the same results. Get better every time.
Speaking here with Donovan Brown, 2022 incoming wide receiver committed to Syracuse from the state of Maryland. Donovan, you got an offer from Syracuse back on July 27th. You committed on July 30th. Why commit right after getting that offer, only 3 days, not even half a week. Why did it just feel right? I know we talked about the visit, and I'm sure that played a big part in it, but when you look back on it, you get an offer, and then 3 days later you're committed. Why make that decision so quickly?
You know, it's been 4 to 3 years, you know, going into, high school. And, they gave me a chance, so I get to, put my skills on to the next level. There's no point in me waiting. I'm a senior now. So what is the point of me doing all this waiting, trying to get everybody so surprised? It's like, hey, it's here. It's in your face. What you going to do with it now? You just going to let it sit? No, I'm going to take it.
And I think that's awesome that, like you said, why wait? It's sitting right here in your face. It's what felt right for you. Syracuse was your first D1 offer, and then you commit. What does that mean to you? The fact that Syracuse reached out at the end of July and said, hey, we want to officially offer you a scholarship, and then boom, here you go. Like you said, you didn't wait after that. So to have Syracuse reach out to you and then you reach back so quickly, just what that story feels like for you. That they gave you a chance as the first D1 offer, and then you said, okay, you know what? You guys believe in me. I don't need to hear from anybody else.
Exactly what you just said. That's exactly how I felt. I was just like, there's no point for me to be waiting around. Because, I already know how the game goes a little bit. Once you get one offer, then they all keep coming. You're not going to watch my film. You're not really going to put no effort into me. They took the time. They watched my film. They brought me in. They did this. They did that. They actually put interest into me. So boom, I'm going to commit to somewhere I feel safe and I feel like they believe in me.
And you doing that, fans are going to say, okay, there's some time in between. Other schools, like you said, could come calling. What keeps you committed to Syracuse? Are you 100% in? Is there any chance that you even entertain anything else?
I'm not. Oh, I can tell you for 100%. I'm not going to entertain anybody else. I already told everybody, all my friends, they would tell you themselves. I said, I'm not leaving. No school can tell me or do anything to make me leave. It's guaranteed. Just like how the head coach said, he said, it's just like marriage. Once you're in it, you're in it. There's no leaving it.
So you have this marriage, this connection. You're coming into Syracuse as a wide receiver. And when we look at wide receivers in Syracuse history, Marvin Harrison, Rob Moore, Scott Schwades, a lot of guys that Art Monk, obviously Kevin Johnson, and then more recently, some of these guys get in the top 20 in yardage. Amba Edetawo, Alec Lemon, Irv Phillips, Taj Harris is on the board right now. Jared West, Marcus Sales. Obviously, I don't want to forget Kadri Ishmael, Chris Gedney, who played tight end, Johnny Morant. There's a lot of awesome names, and there's a lot of recent names on the list. What does it mean to you when I read off this list and I hear some of these names? Do you know the Rob Moores and the Marvin Harrisons and the Art Monks? I mean, what do those names mean to you?
Those names, they mean a lot. That tells you that Syracuse knows what they're doing and they put people in the league. Simple as that. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. So it's not no game from here. It's not no just, some joker type stuff. Like, they know what they're doing over here. They're going to get me better. And they're going to try to do their best to get me to my full ability and to get me to that NFL stage.
What is the best thing, Donovan, about your game? What would you say are your best attributes right now?
My hands and my speed.
And then
my route.
Go ahead.
My route running, it gets better every day. It gets better every day. I say it's nice. My speed and my hands. Even if you're with me, I promise you I'm coming down with that ball.
So, conversely, what are the areas you want to work on the most?
More of my routes, My routes, they're good, but, I want them to be better. I can, do more.
And so, with that route running, what have you done to go beyond practice? What other drills or different things are you doing to make sure that your route running is going to be where you need it to be?
Getting out of my break, because I can juke somebody on my route and boom, boom. But, getting out my break is a little slow, so that's all I really got to work on, getting out my break a little bit more. So, once I do that and that's it, the way I want to, I think I'll be, one of the best receivers.
Donovan Brown heading to Syracuse. You heard it. It's like a marriage. Once you're in it, you're in it. It's done. 2022 incoming. Bring me into, for the people that don't know, where you were, where you transferred to. You and I were talking off the air about you transferring, high school-wise until you get into Syracuse. So bring me into the situation you were in and how you feel about where you are right now.
Okay, so I was at a school named Wildcat. A lot of great athletes I know that went there. I think they should have went far in life, but it never happened. And it hurts me to see because I'm really close with these people, and these are people I call family to me. And one of the coaching staff left, and all my friends started leaving, and I ain't like it because I still thought my team had faith. I was going to move the quarterback, and we were going to have my little same old JV team because my JV team was nice. But it broke me to pieces, so I had to get out of there just like everybody else was getting out of there. So I got out, and I believe in Coach Kelly. And ever since I got to Quince Orchard, it's just been better than ever. The work ethic, the weight room, practice, and the family-wise, everything just feels like this is how football's supposed to feel. And, for my brothers right now at QO, we all going to eat, we all going to get it. And I promise you, there's a lot of names coming out of that school.
And I'm excited. And I know, listen, wide receivers, as we talked about in Syracuse history, a huge piece of their history, and so much to be had for you and to be explosive. So what do you want to say to Orange Nation? What should they know about you? What if you were standing at a podium right now and every Syracuse fan was listening, what do you want to say?
All I really want to say is wait till the season comes. Let's see what happens. And just watch the show. I love y'all. Simple as that.
It's awesome. Coming from Donovan Brown here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Donovan, really quick here. I like to do a thing on my show called Rapid Fire. It flips the script. Normally players and coaches don't get to ask the questions. On my show, you do. So you can ask me anything. Could be football, could be sports, could be anything about life, could be music, movies, whatever you want. 3 questions. I have to answer them, and I have no idea what you're going to ask. But whenever you're ready, you get to run Wake Up Call for the next 3 questions. What do you got for me?
All right. What made you pick the job that you have right now?
I love telling stories. I love bringing people together. I love seeing people smile. The tagline of my show, Wake Up Call, is where sports meets life. And the easiest way to describe that is I take sports like a vehicle, but inside that vehicle I put comedy, humility, community, love, affection, justice, positivity. I love using the world of sports to bring people together, and I love being able to tell people stories like yourself. And what you'll learn from me is I'm talking to you now. I'll talk with you as it gets closer. I'll talk with you when you're at Syracuse, and I'll talk to you after Syracuse, because once you're on Wake Up Call, I will tell your story for as long as you'll let me.
Okay. Question number 2. What's your favorite sport and why?
Favorite sport? That's tough. I love football. Love football. And I played basketball pretty much the majority of my life from 7 on. So I love going out and physically playing basketball myself. And then football, I played pickup, we played flag football, whatnot. Never put the pads on, just always went out there and, kind of played pickup games and whatnot. But it's a toss-up between the two because I really love the sport of football, but God gave me something with basketball and that talent to shoot from anywhere. And now that I didn't like running when I was in high school, Dom. I'm going to be real with you. I did not like to run. I didn't like suicides. But now I do more cardio. But God always gave me that ability to take that shot. And so I love basketball. I love getting back on a court. I love being on a court by myself, total silence, just me and the ball. So I would say basketball, but football is really close.
Okay. You have one person to give a shout out to. Who would it be?
Oh man, one person to give a shout out to. Who would it be? I would have to say, if I had to pick one, because I definitely would want to shout out my mom and shout out my dad for different reasons. But if I could only pick one person, I would shout out my grandmother, my mom's mom. I called her G Mama, and she lived to be just shy of 101, and so I would shout her out. You know, if I had the world stage and I stood up there with a mic, I would shout out my grandma and just say, G Mama, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for telling me all the advice you gave me, and to always love myself, to not care what other people think of me, to always chase my dreams, that there's nothing that can stop me with God by my side, and that all good things come to those who wait, and all good things come to those who work for them. So I would say that to my grandma.
Okay, I like that.
So that coming from Donovan Brown, 2022 wide receiver coming out of Maryland, dedicated and committed to Syracuse. You will see him in orange and blue. His words, not mine. Donovan, I appreciate it, man. I would love to have you back on the show, and I very much am grateful for you taking some time to tell your story, and congratulations on your commitment.
Thank you. Appreciate it.